Garden. I'm a mother. I'm a homeowner in the municipality. I'm a 25-year resident of this community. I'm also a business owner. I have a business degree, and I'm the president of the Powell River Seafarer Society. I am also the spokesperson for the Save Lot 450 campaign, and tonight I am here as just one voice to represent this issue, and I greatly thank the people in this room for nominating me to stand up here and be that voice to represent them. I'm also a member of the newly formed Powell River Forest Coalition, which is a group of concerned citizens who have very quickly come together and formed a society around this issue. And in just 28 days, this group of people have come together to create 2 public protest rallies, each with more than 150 citizens. We've launched a Facebook page now with more than 820 likes, and for those of you who don't do Facebook, I've been managing the Powell River Seafarer page for 2.5 years, and we don't even have 820 likes. Okay, so that's 28 days. We have started a petition, an online petition that has more than 1,500 signatures on it, 1,300 of which are Powell River residents, and I have a copy of all of the comments from that petition here, which express great concern over what's happening. We have developed a website that currently has 30 active nest records of 14 different species right now in Lot 450 with the help of fantastic biologist Andrew Bryant.
Yay.
We managed to picket this week for 3 full days, and we literally stopped island timberlines in their tracks to protect the nests that were in Lot 450 that were in harm's way under the Wildlife Act. We have also attracted the attention of major news media, including CTV, Global, the Vancouver Observer, the Globe and Mail, and more are calling me every day to cover this story. If nothing else, this shows you that we are not going away, we are not going to be quiet, and we want our City Council to get behind us on this issue, because right now we are hearing nothing from you.
Nothing.
I've been thrown into a world another that I've ever experienced of government politics and legislation that has shown me very clearly that the citizens of Powell River have very little protection from laws that exist today that protect Lot 450 from what's happening right now. And while simultaneously, island timberlands can show up on our door, set up, do whatever they want with little recourse or public consultation on what they're doing. It's become increasingly clear that what the devastation is that's awaiting us in Lot 450. IT has tagged trees to be logged right up to the edge of the creeks with no riparian buffer. As you all know, because I've seen it in the official community plan, and I know that Russell Brewer has worked on this, that Wise Creek is a very sensitive area. And if we are to allow them to log as they would like to, they will destabilize the banks, increase erosion, remove the shade over the water that protects the temperature for those fish, and all those animals in that creek are in serious danger. This is a potential violation of the Water Act, which is set out by the province to protect these areas, and this law exists. But we have no representation from our local government to back us with our pleas with the provincial government, and we have no conservation here right now on this issue. Nobody. The conservation officer is on holidays. So we as citizens had to stand up in between and say, no, no. This should concern you guys greatly, okay? IT also has the audacity to come in here during nesting season. Those birds are protected under the Wildlife Act, another provincial law that exists, for which we have no representation and no conservation to enforce these laws. This should concern you as well. IT is leaving no buffers around the area in general, which compromises the aesthetic of Powell River greatly. It raises serious concerns about property values and town site, not to mention the impact on tourism. It undermines all of the hard work of the City of Powell River and Tourism Powell River to create a resident attraction campaign.
Yes.
Which is based solely on the lifestyle that we enjoy in this community. And you just said it yourself, Mr. Mayor, that people love coming here. Well, there's a reason why. If this is allowed to happen, I believe that one by one, the people will move out of this town. One by one, they will sell their homes, and one by one, the tourists will not come to Powell River, and the cumulative impact on that in our town is going to be devastating. And I know that there are plans to develop the area. I know that that is some of the future thoughts, but I don't know who you think is going to be coming here when the population starts to erode because everybody's leaving. We have empty buildings all over town. We have development area all over town. We don't need to clear cut hundreds of hectares of land for development.
Here, here.
I've approached some councillors personally, and what I get is not in my jurisdiction. And I don't want to hear that anymore because the people do not understand what that means. They understand that laws are being broken, we know that it's wrong, and people are looking to you for guidance. And you guys are silent as the grave. And it's really frustrating, and it's sending a very confusing message. When you passed the tree protection bylaw on April the 2nd of this year, it rippled through this community, and it allowed Ireland Timberlands to do what they're going to do. I've also heard that...
Excuse me, you're wrong, but carry on. How much more time?
Well, I actually have correspondence between myself and Andrew Gage, which is a staff lawyer with the West Coast Environmental Law, who clearly states in his legal opinion it was the bylaw change that allowed IT to come into our town unchecked.
But anyway, finish off and then I'll make
Well,
some
as
comments.
okay, sure.
Sell your house.
As I have
Take your
seen,
time.
I didn't mean to throw it out.
that's okay, don't worry, I'll find my place. Anyway, regardless of the bylaw change, regardless of your reasons behind it, regardless of the past, we need you guys to get behind us now. We need to get behind. You are advocating to the provincial government about this very issue. You can advocate to the provincial government about this issue too. In Port Alberni, where the citizens are fighting the actions of Ireland Timberlands in their community, their city council has passed unanimous motions to support the citizen group that is fighting it. And that's what I want to see from this council. I want to see support here. We have a huge base of people. I think that you have seriously underestimated what the impact of this forest is to our town and what it will do long term if it's allowed to be clear cut. And I think we need to get back to the table and come up with some kind of compromise that takes the public into consideration. And as Jim Palm just said, sorry, Councillor Palm just stated, public consultation is paramount.
Yes.
I'm just a regular old citizen. I've taken time off work. There's people that are spending their own money to do this, that are passionate behind this cause, and we have no government representation, and it's frustrating. And we need you to get behind us. Now, I would like to see a motion, just like the Power Alberni Council, to support Power Forest Coalition in our efforts to find a compromise, a better cut plan, something, anything better than what's happening right now.
Yes.
Version of what is about to happen in our town. And it doesn't take a genius to see this and know that this is bad news. There's copies there with the clerk of this map, and I also have a picture of a logging road that has been built right over top of Wise Creek. Okay.
Yeah.
This is wrong. This is wrong. And I will give you the list of comments from our petition. And we're not going to stop. So get behind us or get out of the way.
Yes.
Speak to this issue with you for hours.
I'm sure we could, yes.
And I have made the offer to, I just got back, I was in Europe, I got back yesterday, and I made the offer to one of your folks, Tiachi. You want to join me for that meeting?
Unfortunately, Judy Kaz is not a member of the coalition, so if
Well,
you'd
I'm
like
just
to
saying that
talk.
she's also made a presentation here and you were with her.
That's right.
And I made an offer to speak with her and I'm making the same offer to you. first
Okay.
of all. Second of all, you said get out of the way. We're not in your way. I don't think we put up any roadblocks that are in your way. Thirdly, Just some things that I would like you to know. I'm not going to spend 2 hours here, but I'm going to try and do a 5-minute update for you. Where the logging is happening today is Lot 450, and you've learned, I'm sure, that it's private forest managed land. Right? We have no jurisdiction in there. 0. Now, and that's what I've been told, and that's what I know. And if they're breaking rules in there with environmental studies, we have no rights to go in there and demand their environmental works, and this.
No, but you can help us to go to the provincial government who can, and that's what we want. We know it's not in your jurisdiction.
So, excuse me, that's fine, and that's why I said I'll speak with you, because I'll try and.
I'd rather do it openly, actually, but that's okay.
Well, it's not gonna happen tonight. So, that particular lot is governed under legislation we have 0 powers over. Now, Lot 450, the other side, the properties that Slam and the city own together, that used to be owned in 3, that's different. We own those properties. Right? Those properties, though, were bought for our economic revitalization. So when I talk to the spokesperson, because we are not on the PRC board, we're at arm's length. We're not allowed to. But I asked for an update. I said, so where are we? So first and foremost, the city of the PRC has not received, what they've received is they've received a preliminary logging plan. And they are told that they are going to receive the final plan. They have not received it, number 1. Number 2, they have not received the environmental, whatever they need to do, their environmental assessment. They haven't received that. Island Timber has not asked to log those properties. They have not asked. So we have no request today, our corporation, nor the city, to log those properties. We know it's coming, but right now what they're doing first is logging their private forest managed land. And now I went and walked that creek every inch of it myself, every inch of it. And quite frankly, from what I understand of the app, they actually on the creek heading upwards did a pretty good job on the creek in what they need to do, what they must provide, and what they provide. But having said that,
I'm unqualified to say that.
No, that's on camera. I just walked it today.
well, I walked it with a professional forest, just leave it at that, that's fine. We walked the creek, maybe not. Everybody has different professional opinions, but I went on my day off.
No buffer is not wrong.
I'm not going to.
That's Dean Schneider.
Yeah, fine. I walked that creek, the one on the.
Which one?
Yes. Are you talking about?
Or Wise Creek?
Talking about Wise.
That's another. I'm going to talk
All
about.
Sanesh has no boundary on it at all.
No, I'm talking about the 2 creeks that we have in Millennium Park.
Yeah.
Give the man a map.
So anyways, regardless, walk those things inch by inch. I'm not talking about Wise, I'll talk about that in a minute. And they actually did, and I have with me a professional forester, they actually didn't do a bad job. But regardless of that, that corridor, in my view, is something that, and we have no really jurisdiction whatsoever, but that's a corridor that we should be looking at. And you may notice there's no logging going on there. That's the corridor from Millennium Park up through the private managed lands, number 1. Okay? So, I can't say anything more because it's an in-camera issue at this time. But, you want to go you want, that's the law. Okay? But, we believe it's provincial laws.
That it's in camera?
Yes.
May I just say something?
We believe, no, excuse me. So, we believe that there's some values there that we want to speak with IT with. And I cannot say any more than that. And that is from the Millennium Park that runs us up into behind the farm up in Cranberry, okay, where the creeks are and where they were logging on this side. They stopped logging.
Because we go
We
either
stop.
way.
Well, you really, that's fine. I'm not going to say good. I'm glad you did. Okay? Fine. So that's a good thing. Now, the Wise Creek, which I'd never heard of in my life, right? I heard about roads flow through anymore. It used to at one time. It's, I think, it deadhead somewhere. And we need, it's not in our local environmental, it's not in our local environmental setback rule bylaws. And we've discussed in the last few days that we've got to get that particular creek into, it's got missed somehow. And so we're working on that, Rice Creek. So, where the logging is going on now, that's private forest management. There's not a lot we can do.
I understand that, but they're coming for our land, and you guys are.
Hold on, I'll speak to that. So, but, having said that, there are some values that we're very interested in. And we're on it. That's all I can say. I can't say anymore. So, now we go to our properties. It belongs to Slam people and to the city of Powell River. That property that we have, lot 450 from Brooks to Millennium Park. Now, here's the other thing that we should be celebrating. We doubled the size of our park. Two weeks ago, we paid off every tree in Millennium Park.
That doesn't make any sense.
To you,
have
maybe
a full
not.
park already.
To
You're gonna cut it in half. The reality is the forest is standing.
Are you gonna buy that property?
No,
Are
but
you
what
gonna
we need
buy
to do
those
is
trees?
reasonable Island Timberlands,
Are
as
you gonna-
policymakers can say,
do
the
you
people
want-
are
do you
behind
want
you, you
us-
can't just come in here and do whatever you want. And if they say, well,
But
we
ma'am,
want to be paid for
they
every
have not put
tree,
in a
then you
plan
say,
to log.
come. But
I think you're ahead of yourself. They have not put in a plan to log that property. You don't have a plan.
Why are all the trees flagged?
Debate in question, not now. Move on with the meeting.
Okay, thank
Who
you.
are you?
So just on that note,
Yeah, no, order, please, order. Go ahead.
I appreciate that the PRC is instrumental in all of this.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now that tomorrow at 2:45, I will be sitting in front of the PRC. And I will be talking to them as I'm talking to you now to say, you have the will of the people behind you, you need to have a bigger hammer. Because Island Timberlands has done what they want to communities all over this province, and I don't want to see that happen to Powell River. I don't. I love this town. I've raised my kids here, I've blood, sweat, and tears here. I took on this festival to make my contribution to the
For that, we thank you.
you know? And so I'm outraged, and I feel like public consultation was nil. I've lived here for 25 years, I just learned about this, and I'm involved in the community, that's just crazy.
Okay, so fine. So when those properties were purchased, we knew we did not own the trees. We knew that right from day one. We don't own the trees. We anticipated logging in the Millennium Park. We worked hard to raise $1.1 million in bottles.
Right, okay, so can I just say, the Millennium Park deal, I know work was worked on for many, many years.
11 years.
I know, and I appreciate it.
9, I was there.
I can imagine the time that took to put that together. But if we're in the moment of talking about buying trees, then why don't we buy the trees that matter? The ones that are gonna protect the like buffer zone around town sites so that their housing doesn't go down. Why don't we buy the buffers around the creeks? Why don't we buy the trees over top of the old incinerator site? Why are we abandoning?
We own those trees. We did.
No, I don't see it on the maps that I've seen. They're-
We own the old incinerator, we own all that.
But the trees are going on top of it.
We already own it.
You own those trees?
No.
Okay.
But I would like
That's
to
excellent.
speak with you. You can have 2, 3, 4 hours of my time. I mean, get on with the council meeting. I really appreciate what you're doing. And if you were able to stop them from taking down nesting trees, and what we said, that's a great thing you can do. Unfortunately, a lot more than we can. We are doing
Will
what
you
we're doing.
advocate on our
Regardless,
behalf? Will you help us?
we are advocating on your
No, you're
behalf.
not.
Well, that's your opinion.
All right,
So-
so what is the motion?
So I'm offering you.
Where's the,
I'm
it's set
offering
here on
you
our
to
side.
come and visit me, and I will take you from day one to today to tell you what I can tell you, and I'll leave out what I can't tell you that's in camera, because I'm not going to breach that and get thrown out of office in